Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Nicole Wilbur, and today is going to be a very, very writerly day because today I am pitching 5 agents. I am doing the Writers Day Workshop California 2025 conference. I am not in California, I'm actually in a cabin, but it's all virtual, which is great. And yeah, there are workshops today. I'm going to be attending 1 or 2, and then I have 5 live pitches with agents, which is nerve-wracking, but I am very excited. I like getting to talk to agents generally. I think this is going to be great practice, and I think it's a lovely way to, I don't want to say like the slush pile, but like if they are interested in your thing, it can be a great way to make a personal connection. So very excited about that. Also today, I am going to be working on my thriller. I need to figure out my opponent's plan, and I need to figure it out today because tomorrow I have to have like a 5K day or something because I am trying to draft this book before July 20th, and I'm now at the point where I have to write like 2,000 words a day to get that done, and I would really love to get that done, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen with a couple 5K, 10K days. So how the conference works is there's actually quite a few like documents to deal with. It's all in like Google Docs and Google Sheets. So there's one page where all of the like workshops are listed. I know this is like unhelpful to just show my laptop screen. I don't know why I tried. But basically it has the Friday, Saturday, and it has the workshop names and then a go-to webinar link. Then there is a spreadsheet with all of the different agents and their schedules for the day. And then there is another Google Sheet with the contact information for each agent. So you log on to their Google Meet or their GoToWebinar or whatever it is at the end of your session, or beginning of your session. And so this was a lot to put together. And so I went and I like made my own little schedule for myself, just like compiling all of the links. So I pulled my 5 agents. So I have a 12:30 pitch and a 1:45 pitch, a 2:30, a 4:45, and a 6:45. And then in between there, I have the 2 sessions today that I'm interested in going into. I'm most excited for Writers Got Talent, which is a like a first page reading and feedback, which sounds really cool. Out of that, like look at my little mini schedule. And so yeah, breakfast time and then pitch. Okay, final practice before the pitch. Okay, I'm so excited to pitch you today because of your interest in YA thrillers. My book is The Inheritance Games meets The Italian Job, but make it sapphic. We're talking an impossible heist in an ancient castle, a crew living in a Tuscan villa full of wine and secrets, and a breath. What was really interesting in that conversation was the agent basically said, we don't get a lot of like heist thrillers in YA. There's a place on the shelf for them, but there's like not a ton, which I know. Mostly domestic, which makes sense. Getting a lot of fantasy. And that there's like kind of more fantasy writers than there are like editors looking for fantasy, which is super interesting. Anyways, interesting tidbit. My next one is in an hour. Okay, so I'm in the same place because it was way too bright outside, but a lot has happened. It's like an hour or so later, and I am getting there. I always find this so interesting. It's like anytime I try to come up with a plan for a book, because you're coming up with it from literally nothing, there's always a rabbit hole, right? So I know that I need my character to investigate a bunch of stuff. And in order for the character to investigate, I need to know what actually happened. And I need to like know what the opponent's plan is and what they're doing so they can find evidence of wrongdoing and all that stuff. In order to know the opponent's plan, I have to know how things stand right now exactly. I have been doing a lot of research this morning on zoning. Zoning in Costa Rica is my new specialty. There's numerous different kinds of protected areas. There's national parks, there's wildlife refuges, there's reserves, and I'm trying to understand the differences between these things. It is going well. So at this point, I have a chunk of text that's basically like, okay, this is all taking place at like a wildlife refuge center. So I'm like, well, before the center was there, what was there? Then the center was built. What's the center like? And now I'm just working on kind of the backstory for the Rainforest Realty is like the antagonist company, I guess, although there's particular like characters who work there and are associated with it who are the actual antagonists. So I'm like working on a bit of their backstory, like what the Rainforest Realty resorts are like. Yeah, it's resorts, it's fun. And so I have to like kind of detail that and detail their premise. And then I'm very close to being like, okay, so what's going to happen? And I have a bunch of research. So I have a lot of ideas now on like what things the opponent could have done in order to build their resort near this conservation center. It's complex, and I'm like, how are they going to find out the clues for this? But it's okay. I'll get there. First, I just need the opponent's plan. It's all good. The other thing I was doing was a little bit of renaming. So the like main antagonist, kind of, there's actually two others who are a little more hidden, but the main antagonist is Maya McKinney, who is basically like the CEO of Rainforest Realty. And she's the one who kind of is doing some of the nefarious things, but not like the, I don't know, not like, at this point, I don't have her doing any of the like violent nefarious things. And I really like her name, Maya McKinney, because McKinney sounds a little bit like McKinsey. And I read a book last year that was literally like every problem, like every scandal, every bad thing that happened anywhere for the last however long had something to do with McKinsey. That was, okay, like allegedly, you know. But that was basically the premise of that book, was like, remember like cigarettes? That was McKinsey. Like, remember the prescribing the opiates? That's McKinsey. Remember this like corruption in the South African government? That was McKinsey. Like, anyways, so I kind of like that. But the problem was I had named my center the Maria Garcia Center, which quite honestly was very rough off the cuff. So I've renamed it to the Flor Gomez Center, which I'm very excited about. The other thing I have to change is right now my character's name is Colleen Hennessy, and I hate the last name Hennessy. I don't know what I was thinking when I randomly chose it from a list, but I did it kind of fast because I was pantsing. I'm like, I gotta change this name. I am not happy with this name. Hennessy, it just does not roll off the tongue. Colleen Hennessy, like, then having to go and pronounce the H is unfun. So I'm realizing now I don't love what I signed myself up for. I have 4 minutes till the next one, and I'm literally just gonna spend all day like being anxious and then relieved and then anxious and then relieved. This one I'm uncertain of if it, like, it's YA contemporary. I don't know. I am uncertain of this one, so like maybe I want it to be a rejection because then I'll like feel it being a rejection and it'll be a good experience. I'm trying to psycho myself, you know? Okay, we got this. Okay, pitch 2 done. That was great. I feel like the first one, maybe I was just kind of getting my like thing together. This one was like, didn't have any sort of those awkward moments. It wasn't hard to fill the time at all. It was like very easy chatting. I think, honestly, I asked the questions about like her list and stuff. That agent would kind of be an ideal agent, I think, for me, in terms of one who's growing their list. You know what I mean? And like really looking to grow and have that hands-on partnership. So, this is the horrible thing about meeting all these agents, because then you want to work with them. So we'll see. That one also was like, yes, please send me the query. So cool, sounds good. I did promise some icing of the tailbone, so that's why I'm lying on the ground. Just to add to that, the interesting thing is I think it only takes like, what did it take, 4 or 5 minutes for me to pitch the book, for her to ask her initial questions. And so I found it really useful to have questions prepared. And the question I asked her was, she had new adult on her MSWL. And so I asked about new adult, and we kind of talked about like how there's new imprints opening up. She like named the imprints and what they were focusing on, and kind of mentioned like the difference in the themes and stuff. And I thought that was really useful. Obviously not just to fill the time. I also like to ask how they approach the author agent relationship, because I feel like that tells you, especially for like a newer agent, you know, like, do they know their stuff? Like, do they know the market? And she mentioned like her mentor and all this stuff. And I thought that was really, really cool. So yeah. Now I have 45 minutes, 2:45, no, 2:30, half an hour. I have half an hour until the next one. So I am going to, ice and read a little bit and then do the next one. And then we have a break. So, woo. Number 3 down. It was good. The facial expressions as I was talking, she was laughing at certain things, sounded intrigued. So another agent who's close to Query is who I have the link to Query. So all good stuff. And now I'm going to a bookstore. So we get a break for about 2 hours. Woo.
Yes to something even when I know I really don't wanna.
Yeah, fair. Oh gosh. Number 4 is done. Just as I thought. She was like, this hits so many things on my list. I'm like, I know it does because I read your MSWL. And so one of my comps is Thieves Gambit, and one of her things on her list is Thieves Gambit. So da-da-da, beautiful. That's great. She did ask a question. She was like, how does this stand out from other YA contemporaries? And I was like, okay, I got this. So I hope I answered it well. And then I ended up saying, oh, I kind of regret this, but I ended up being like, I tried to put some levity into it. And I was like, oh no, now if she reads it and it's not funny, I'm screwed. So yeah, but one more, and it's not for like 2 hours. Back to the opponent's plan for the new book, I guess. The annoying part about this is that I'm literally sitting here writing the rejection letters in my head so I don't get too excited about all these lovely conversations. I'm like, yeah, you know, like the writing didn't match the premise, or it just wasn't the vibe I wanted. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. Ooh. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Even if you know what? Rejections are fine. This is still the first book I've ever queried. We're good. At least this is good pitching practice. But yeah, that's not great. So I forgot to film in the bookstore. It would have been great B-roll, but this is what I got. So obviously Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Obviously. And then we have A Most Puzzling Murder by Bianca Murray, which I'm really excited to read and do the puzzles in it. And then The Names by Florence Knopf, which I heard about on the Substack, the bookshop, Kate from the bookshop. And I like opened this to a random page while I was in the store, and I read something and I was like, I must read it. So I want to read this one first, and then probably that one, and then probably that one. But I'm currently still reading The Secret History, and I have to finish that one first. So just did number 5, and she wants a full. So I'm gonna put that down to a request because she did ask for the full manuscript as an attachment. The 4th one was 100 pages. So I feel like that's a partial. So we can pretend I got a full and a partial maybe. From querying, you have no idea like if they're asking everybody to query them or like what they're asking. So whatever. I'm gonna take it as a win. God, I freaking hate it when people, like, I'm sure it would be worse if they hated the idea, right? If they're like, that does not check any of my boxes versus that's checking all my boxes. But like, it's all in the execution, right? Like an idea can check all the boxes. And I know I've had good feedback. I've had feedback from industry professionals. I've had people say, this is great. I like wanted to get my pages looked over. I sent it to an editor and he was like, don't pay me to do this. I can't help you. Like, this is good. I don't have any suggestions. I've had like people in the industry tell me, you know, like, I think this has a good chance. I think you're ready to query. you know, like stuff like that. So I feel like I've done as much as I can, but it just, then my voice is like, oh, like maybe I should just, instead of sending it to these people, completely rewrite it again. Like, you know what I mean? You know what, if they don't like it, it's fine. But that's the thing that I find like a struggle of like, okay, if this story is checking everybody's boxes and they sound excited when I pitch it and then pass on the actual manuscript, maybe that tells me something. The very interesting and unique thing about this last one was she asked me about the character's emotional journey, and I told it, and then she asked me to spoil the ending. And for a second I was like and then I spoiled the ending. And I was like, what points do I hit in the ending? But I was like, what part of the ending? From where do I go? But yeah, I did. And she said that made sense. You articulated it really well. It was very precise. Well done. Yeah. So that was a new question. The most common questions are definitely like, tell me about your goals as a writer. Tell me what else you're working on. Where did you get the idea? I got to tell my story of me in really cute blue heels running around Florence and me being like, why would someone wear blue heels in Florence? I don't know. What else was there? There was definitely, I included the word count. Yeah, those were kind of the main ones. Most agents afterwards would be like, okay, tell me about like where you got the idea. Tell me about your writing goals. But then this extra one about the, like more about the story was super interesting to me. And so was the question, what sets your book apart? I was like, I think I answered them well, but those are scary questions to answer. Okay, it is now time for a drink. I'm going to have a nice gin smash. I maybe want to do some more opponents playing because I didn't quite finish it today. It was a lot of like on-call, off-call, on-call, off-call stuff. And there we go. Okay, it is now Tuesday and I have another query update. Actually, I have two. So yesterday I got a pass from someone who I'd queried earlier. And then this morning I got the oddest query email I've ever gotten, it was from Query Checker, and you can always tell, right, if it's like, I feel like you can tell if it's good news or bad news because it will say like query reply or like query request like in the notification on your phone, and it was query reply, and I was like, ah, damn it, like rejection from one of the agents from this conference already, so sad. And then I read it and I was like, oh, and she'd said, I read your first 10 pages. I plan to read more of the submission, but I have a lot of high priority things. It might take a little bit. And I was like, okay, that was really nice of you to say that. I mean, first 10 pages are a go. That's good. She wants to keep reading. Good news. And she does have the full, I believe. So she's like, hey, I read it just to get a sense of if I like it or not. Seems to like it. He's planning on reading more of the submission. And I was like, well, that was very nice of you. I guess I'm in a maybe pile or a to read more pile. I was like, well, that was very nice of you to tell me. Because part of the reason I feel like it's weird to submit a full, like at the query stage. I know a lot of people are like, why don't agents just ask you for the full when you query? Why ask for sample pages like 5, 10, whatever first? And I actually think that I really enjoy the touch point of, hey, I liked this, I'm asking for more. I think that I don't know, builds trust, shows full consideration, shows professionalism. So for these ones from conferences where I'm submitting a full, part of me doesn't love it because I'm like, they're not going to ask me for more. They're just going to say yes or no. Like they're going to turn it down or they're going to offer. And honestly, the idea of someone offering out of the blue like that feels kind of like a fairy tale. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It feels unlikely to happen. Obviously it does happen to some people. But no, it's kind of nice that she was like, hey, like I have a full, I've read some, I'm going to keep reading. So it was basically like a full request, I guess, even though she already had it. I don't know. Whatever. But great, very like kind, communicative, lovely agent. So I was about to come on here and say, oh my God, I just like went and submitted all of the agents, all 5 of them wanted something from me, whether it was 10 pages, 100, and then 3 fulls actually. And so I did. And that was the fastest reply in history. I submitted it at 11:52 a.m. and I got a request for a full at 12:41 p.m. or something. So that is super exciting, but I am not getting my hopes up, and I'm also finding it terrifying because like it's so fun to have something out there and know someone's reading your work. But I don't want to get the rejection. And I'm just like, okay, what are you gonna say? I don't like this process at all. This should be fun. It's fun. I'm like you read through it and you're like second guessing everything about the story and is it good? Is it bad? If this comes back as no's on all these fulls, I'm interested to see what the feedback will be, but I honestly don't know where to go from there. So that's what is making me nervous, is like I don't know where I would go from that point if it is just not clicking, you know? Anyways, good news. And I'm probably ending this vlog now with me just being like, I don't know how to feel. I kind of hope nobody gets back to me today. It's Sunday. Why are you checking your inbox? I mean, I love that. I love it. I'm so grateful. But like, I'm in a bathing suit. I'm gonna go kayak. It's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna have a drink. It's gonna be even funner. It's gonna be great. So I will see you next time. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more. You can check out my Substack if you want more writing, reflections, and that kind of thing. Thank you so much for watching. See you then.